I next kind of wanted to segue into what I would call, quote unquote, your genre work, which like The Village fits in there, Chapelwaite fits into there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of all these things. Splice, I'm a big fan of King Kong, Predators, we've talked about, I remember years ago. And clearly based on some of your early experiences, you talked about watching Shaw Brothers, martial arts films as a kid. I take it you were a genre film fan.
Yes.
Do you approach things, do you think about genre when you're doing something? Applying it to Chapelwaite, for instance, or for any of these, like, does the genre trappings affect a performance? Do you know, like, I'm in this type of movie, so I need to act in this style?
That's a really great question. That's a great question. I guess on certain days, you feel you can't escape that you're in a genre.
Right. You look to your left, you look to your right, you're like, I'm in.
And Josh, whether you want it or not, it is affecting your acting.
Yeah.
It is, you are having some really fake looking blood oozing out of something, or it is a bit arched the moment that that you have to swim through. But I have a sense of humor with it. And I think some people have a hard time differentiating, it's like I have to become a painting, right? I'm part of a painting. And each one of these journeys is a different style. I don't want, and I do paint, and even as a painter, I have styles that I gravitate to, that I love, but I'm constantly experimenting and I'm constantly trying new things. And I think even in the art world, when you see an artist, you want to go, that is a Picasso. That is a Monet.
Right.
That is a Basquiat. But if Basquiat just did some really cool collage, and you were like, that's a Basquiat, and be like, well, that's not a Basquiat. And there was no little cool sketching or oil stick work and nothing that you recognize as a Basquiat. You got to allow the person to paint it. And you may not love that painting, but it is a creative journey, right?
Yeah,
It is to share, but it is also for me to go on. And I love to experiment with the work. And I feel like that is part of the joy of being an actor, of not only finding diverse roles and becoming people that are very different from you and your set of experiences, but to, work with, Ken Loach and work with Dario Argento, and I think both of those are meaningful to me, and both entirely different processes. And I love it. I love that. And, but I don't know if that translates. It may to you because you see so much, and you have an understanding of the process and people's work. But I think, I don't know if I confuse, I feel like I've confused a lot of people with my choices. Why would you do that? And I do love I'd love to experiment with the work, and I like to take some risk with it, and just go there and see what happens. Sometimes it's not great what happens, but sometimes it is really great fun. And
without the risk.
I grew up on going to see, Nightmare on Elm Street and these movies in the theater, and